This is another video, guys, to sort of get us to experience the Xpeng XNGP. Um, Today is 18th of November 2024, and it's been a while since I posted a video, so thought I could do a quick one here. Again, it's a trip that's supposed to be between two cities. Worried I wasn't very set up for this because I did not have the microphone set up uh, in the what I call the in the best way, which would be the wireless mic attachment. I'm now using the onboard mic on the DJI Osmo Action original. I'm not using the Osmo Action 2 or the Osmo Action 3 or 4 or 5. I'm still using the old first generation Osmo Action. So you could certainly see that it is not especially, the modern versions of what these cameras can do or these action cameras can do. One would actually use a different kind of camera for night videos because you need more ISO, yet, reduce noise. The Osmo has been handling it quite so far. Not so sharp image in the night, and if I try to sharpen too much, I end up adding artifacts that are not exactly good. But I hope that, again, as I indicated, once I hit 1,000 subs, I'll be in a position to be able to upgrade and get a better camera. That should maybe give me that opportunity to have a more fluid production process. The trip is supposed to last us for about 45 minutes to 47 minutes. That's what was estimated when I started the trip. And so the guesstimate is that we are going to be able to clear this 30-kilometer highway between the two cities in about that time. Now it is 7:22 p.m. And the estimated time of arrival at destination will be 7:58 p.m. I might need to change the route whilst we are en route because maybe I would like to take a detour somewhere. Just to advise folks, if I do so, you would actually see the me make entry into the system. This is quite one of those areas that I kind of get very anxious about with the car entering the highway, especially when there's a bit of a traffic in front, because you can make certain moves that might catch you off guard, especially if you're a car that is following that is not attentive. You might end up rear-ending this car, or if you're using this service or this capability or feature, you might end up being rear-ended. Now, in the eyes of the law, the guy who is hitting you behind is actually at fault. So you could sort of get away with it, but technically speaking, that is a flawed, assumption. Because, people actually on the highway are making moves based on time and circumstances. Sometimes, if you're suddenly making some erratic actions on the highway, it might end up with the guy behind you not actually being the one at fault. But again, since the law has not caught up to, to take care of such nuances, the onus is on you that is following to be completely attentive at all times. irrespective of the of the situation. So anyway, yeah, entering the highway whenever there is a traffic is a little bit very tricky with um, this software version XOS 5.3.08908. I hope that maybe in the future that would be improved because sudden, acceleration or sudden, stops can be quite jarring. Speed limit on this section of the highway is 100 km per hour. We're doing about 80 now, between 70 and 80. There's a bit of traffic on the highway, and this is due to the fact that this is rush hour, especially when you're looking at intercity highways. A lot of folks are now leaving the office or maybe, returning back home. So you certainly have this situation where you cannot optimize the highway in full breadth. But the key point for me and what is good is that it is green all through, which means that we're not going to encounter any sort of very slow traffic, or there isn't any accident on the highway that is going to cause us to have a delay, which is a good thing. At least given the current circumstance, the projection is all green. I hope it stays the same, through the whole journey. There's a guy behind me that is flashing quite eagerly trying to overtake. But this BMW in front of me is actually pacing around 80. And so it makes it quite tricky. But anyway, we got some room now. And then when we just about to overtake him, he starts to pick up pace. So I guess we'll never be able to overtake him at all. We're nearing the toll gate, and this is a toll entrance to the highway. Rapid deceleration from 100 to about 60 now, and then rapid acceleration from 60 to about 80 now, and then it backs out into an LCC mode as we actually get into to set us up for the toll gate. I will now switch over to AI driver. Will it stop? No. Well, so it didn't stop, but I had to, sort of slow down, even though the electronic ticketing system picked up the car and still left the gate open. It was still dangerous because it wasn't showing signs of perception, which I feel it's important to give you confidence that yes, the car has recognized the toll gate state and is effectively, organizing itself or structuring itself to navigate through safely. That confidence wasn't there, so I had to certainly, um, halt and let it sort of back out into ACC mode. Now we're back. We cleared the toll gate. We've got 24 km to clear before the next exit. So let's see how it works or how it fares on this route. This section of the highway is 100 km. Hopefully very soon we will be switching to 120. And then we could actually have be able to enjoy the full breadth of the speed limit. The speed limit changes from 100 to 120 anytime now. That would give us the opportunity to overtake the car in front of us. So there about any moment now, we should have 120 full. Okay, we've got 120. So now we hope that the car now takes a decision to overtake because now the speed limit allows us to. We had full limit 120. Now this truck just cuts in quick deceleration there, and then maneuvering its way to get out of that lane. We are still green all the way through, which is a good thing. Remember that I have switched from using the map-based NGP to AI driver. So you've got a AI driver actually taking over the car now. Um, the characteristics of AI driver is that it's basically going to play back the same drive that I have had on this particular road before, on this particular journey or at this particular time for this particular journey. So you would see a better optimized sort of use of the highway. But I suspect that it is still trying to play my exact behavior the last time I used the highway, which will certainly seem like a much more refined experience compared to when NGP is actually running the show. Um, we are still on a 120 kilometer per hour stretch. There's a bit of formation on the highway that is not giving us the room to be able to overtake this BMW in front of us. But the BMW is changing lanes now, which should give us some room to move ahead, but it's going to get trapped because it has to also overtake that car in front of us to the right, which is something that it doesn't do very preemptively well. But let's see what happens in this case. This van is also sort of getting in the way. So that even means that the chance to actually overtake this car in front of us using the right lanes is completely out of question. All right, this truck is trying to step into this lane. It was veering off its lane, and tires were touching the lane separation markers, so the car had to slow down. Now let's see if it will actually use the opportunity to overtake this car, even though there's a car coming behind us aggressively. It's made a determination to want to overtake, and it is overtaking. It needs to move quickly to get ample, space between this car that we're overtaking and the car in front of us in order to successfully do the next overtake. But it's not going to be able to actually get that through because the car that we just overtook is also stepping up its game. So now it has to follow back, which sometimes also is quite annoying. The question then is, then why did you engage the first place? But that is only because of the fact that as a human, you have a better view or a better perception of the road and then utilization of the road. So you could actually ask such a question. Currently, the capability in the car does not remind it of, it doesn't have a memory of the circumstances around, and also that it doesn't keep a context that is quite solid enough to maintain that sense of knowledge of what it's doing. So yeah, now we've hit the full limit, and it's getting into a corner now. A smooth one, by the way. If you can see through there, it's a pretty smooth corner. And it actually smoothly also turns left. One of the characteristics that you would notice that it's maximizing the speed at every moment that it's got the chance. And that's because when I was recording the route, what I was doing was pretty much maxing out the speed limit at every chance that I got. So it's pretty much doing the same thing. Every chance that it gets, it's maxing out the speed limit and not leaving room for any sort of chance. This is another case where it's going to get tricky because the car that's on our left and right are all, in positions that do not give the opportunity to have ample space to overtake. So again, it has to fall back to have to follow these. Hopefully after this, it would basically be able to get the path in a clear way to be able to overtake this particular car. Okay, so now there's the opportunity, and it's bracing up to do that. Another smooth corner there. It's still 120 limit. The car is currently doing 103, 105. But unfortunately, wasn't able to be fast enough to, to overtake the car completely. The car has overtaken it again. And it will have to sort of make lane change to follow that car again. If you were the guy that was driving that car, you would pretty much have a lot to say, right? And this is one of the cases why, it is sometimes quite daft to be using the technology. In 5 km, we will actually be taking an exit because we'll be getting nearer to the next city. We're actually within the city's perimeter. And so we would be taking the next exit right. Well, I was thinking I was going to take this exit, but it's sort of avoided this exit. So we need to go a bit further, and that's in another 2.5 km. It's now setting itself up to take that exit, so it needs to sort of get into the middle lane first. And then gradually, as we traverse this length of the highway, it would be sort of changing lanes um, to the right. Right, so it's setting itself up again for the last lane change before we hit the exit. And I think this is it. We'll use this space. All right, in 300 meters, we will actually be on the exit itself. And that is where the NGP will disengage, and the AI driver needs to find a way to sort of navigate the rest of the route. Okay, so 517 to reach the toll gate. And that will wrap us up for the highway part of the drive. The next section is going to be within the city as it tries to take on the city roads. Here, of course, it is expected to be using, the outer lane because that's where I used the last time. It's trying to halt. Again, I had to urge it to move on. All right, so this guy was caught up on the toll, so needed to sort of disengage because he was reversing. So disengaged there, now re-engaged. The high driver is still in control. A little bit over there that is left for the trip to come to an end, and also for the AI driver to have finished his execution of the route. Okay, this part is quite tricky as it makes that turn because it's making the turn using the strategy I used. Well, depending on its own perception capability to match my expectations or indeed what I had done the last time. It's all good. We were able to clear that space or that area, so at least that's good. It needs to sort of overtake this this little truck or this whatever it is. no tail light. Just a rickshaw, whatever you can call that. It's got an electric motor that's driving it. Okay, so we are on the lane that is to follow the bus. If hopefully these rickshaws are able to give us clear path to go through this section in a clean way, that would be good. Okay, so that was okay. Okay, so this truck scared me a little bit, so I needed to disengage there. Right, so after this turn, I would engage it back again.
沿当前道路，预计行驶3.5公里，当前道路限速60。
It's a 60 km limit road section. The car is currently doing 60 as well. Bit of a construction here, and let's see how it's able to navigate through that if it doesn't slow down to. Yeah, it's struggling, but I think it can. I was worried that it would actually halt in the middle of the road whilst the traffic lights were blinking, because when it's blinking, it's normally indicating that it's about to turn amber and red. And normally the car hasn't, had the training to be able to preempt these states and then effectively apply the right sort of maneuvering techniques to avoid, any harsh sort of drive. Now, yeah, so I had to sort of be ready to take over. That was quite some move there. It's quite close to the bus as it tried to overtake the bus. The last time I was on this route, I indicated when the car actually, failed to recognize that this is actually a double lane. It's not. This is actually not a double lane, but it's normally it's just an alley where you can have um, opposing cars use lane, right? So it actually ended up using the that lane as though it was a double carriage, which it wasn't.
200米后，即将驶出 AI 代价。
I'm not convinced it's going to be able to make this all through. So anyway, it had to disengage, fall back to LCC. I was sure I wasn't going to make it because the blue lane indicates that it's actually either a private road or an unknown territory or a territory where it's not being, allowed to operate. So as a result, it basically would disengage any self-driving capability and allow you to actually use only LCC. So now it's, back down to LCC, even though I'm on a route that should support NGP, but because the path had changed, it's basically, caught in a rut. Um, okay, so hopefully it could continue from this section of the road.